If you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll know that the Blue Eyes White Dragon is one of the most iconic monsters of all time. So much so that even people who don't know Yu-Gi-Oh have heard of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Unfortunately, when it comes to the modern card game, Blue Eyes hasn't quite had that same threatening aura for a very long time. Until now. Join me as I document my journey starting from a single structure deck, trading, upgrading, and dueling my way with Blue Eyes to the top of the competitive ladder. Let's make Kaiba proud in playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Properly, Season 3. Aye! Subscribe. Yo, it's been a while. How's it going? Of course, one of the biggest events in the country has come and gone. We did go to that event, and we did play our Blue Eyes deck. You're probably wondering, what the heck happened? And boy, do I have a story for you. So, buckle up, drop a like, and let's get into it. Pita, Fire Charmer ablaze into Aluber!
Let's go!
So if you've been following along with our progress, you'll know we left off playing the Metamorph version of the deck at our OTS Championship. We figured the ins and outs of this deck, discovered some really sick combo lines through hand traps and everything, but at the end of the day, we learned that the overall card quality of the Metamorph engine just isn't good enough to consistently compete with the likes of Mitsurugi, Raziel, and Malice. Honestly, at this point, we should just ban every Cyburst or level 4 monster, man. I am done! I realized that if we want any hope of doing well in a competitive event against the big dogs, we're gonna have to somehow get our hands on the best engine available to us, and that's the Primite engine. With Battles of Legend on the horizon and the reprints included inside it, all the values on the Primite cards are starting to get reasonable enough for this to actually be a possibility. So that's the plan. We save up all of our valuable cards that we pool, and then we go all in on Primite. Totally not woodcutting in the background while filming this, by the way. So with just 4 openings left until Nationals, the pressure was on. Ooh, that's the only pool in this one. Yo, secret rare. Beat Ash. Come on. Dude. Trap card, Dragon Bay Tidying. We have number 107, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. Not a horrible opening, but it was a neg. We're gonna have to do much better than this in the next 3 openings if we actually want to get a Primite engine. It was at this point that the series started to feel a little weird, because all my energy and playtesting is going towards the Primite version of the deck that I plan to play at Nationals. So I wasn't sure whether I wanted to upload episodes of us just playing the same old decks like Invoked and Metamorph while talking about Primite the whole time. But I did decide that I wanted to at least take the Invoked engine out for another spin, so that's what we did this week. We headed over to our local Thistle Tavern, got some trades under our belt. We secured our Phantasmes from Kami for a Lunalight Perfume in Secret Rare, and our common Super Polys from Leo for a whole bunch of different pools, followed by some much needed Super Poly targets from Jamie as well.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, right. What set was that? 32?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. I was pulled that ages ago. Nice trade. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And you?
Watch out. Unfortunately, we weren't immediately able to test the Super Poly in person because the Invoked build of the deck requires the full extra deck, so there just wasn't any space for extra targets. But yeah, locals, nothing really spectacular happened. We ended on a 3-1 record, coming top 4 with this final game against Leo on Memento. This is game 3. We start with Alistair, which gets hit by an Ash. Leo then chains Fuwalos. We respond with our own Ash, and then he hits us with a Droll. So Ash Fuwa Droll in his opening hand, and we still end on Spirit Dragon and the Majesty Trap as well. Blue Eyes is just so good, man. Dude got cooked. Well, we finally got a top 4 performance with the Invoked build of the deck. We came 4th with a 3-1 record, but the Invoked build is so bad. We didn't summon Mechaba once today. I opened Invocation so many times on its own. It's such a terrible brick, dude. Yeah, deck sucks. Maybe today we can actually pull something good about our prize packs. Yo, we're gonna get a 4th Black Sheep token. Let's go. We got the Link 1. Evil Twin Kissicle Deal. This is actually a really good card. Quarter Century Secret Rare would be insane. And an Xyz. Ooh, we actually got a Secret Rare. Let's go, dude. OTS 27. Oh, Fiendsmith Sequence. This is like the third one of these we've pulled. We've traded it off every single time. There's a world where we keep this and try to get a Fiendsmith engine, but we can also just get rid of the value. I don't know. Either way, we actually got some nice pulls in our prizes today. Paying off, baby. Let's go. Hell yeah. Before we move any further, let's take a second to appreciate these absolute legends for supporting the channel. You guys helped make this trip possible, so thank you so much. Time is running out, dude. We are getting closer and closer to Nationals. Things were starting to get a little spooky because once again, our opening wasn't fantastic. Out of our £30 spent, we pulled an Ultra Fuwalos, a Collector's Typhon, and a quarter-century Stellar Diamond, resulting in yet another neg. But it is still some value, so hope is still there. Every spare minute I had from that point onwards was spent dueling on Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. I was even clicking buttons in my sleep, man. It was basically confirmed that we were going to be playing Nationals without the expensive staples, such as Perulia and Meows, so I needed to lock in and work with lower budget options. We sorted out some extra trades this week as well, getting not one, but 2 drill beams just in case we want an extra copy, and we also picked up our second thrust from Shamim as well, finally getting rid of that Anubis trap that's been in our binder for so long, dude. We also managed to grab a playset of secret rare Xyz Encore from Jess, getting rid of our Chasma that we just pulled and the Schwarzschild. I'm still not quite 100% sure on the non-engine cards that I want to be playing for Nationals, so at the moment I'm just going around picking up as many good cards as possible to give us a good number of options for the big event. And also, I've started playing Commander, so I am officially a spell slinger, baby, to many people's dismay. Stella Lee, let's go. We were down to the last week before Nationals and our luck finally turned around. Things started off with a QC Shien's Dojo, which is nice, but then immediately after, we pulled a quarter-century Ghost Ogre, which was perfect. A Platinum Blue Eyes gave us a nice shiny copy to put in our deck, and then the cherry on top was another Ultra Fuwalos pool. Oh, we do! Let's go, dude, the final card in the final pack. Oh my god, okay. Dude, that's the kind of opening that we need. That big jump in value was exactly what we needed, and to top everything off, we managed to trade our collection of QCRs into a playset of Primite Ether Barrel. Well, boys, with that trade, we are officially playing Primite Blue Eyes at Liverpool here. We have the 3 barrel, we've got 2 drill beam under our belts, no lordly loads yet, so we do need to trade into lordly loads. And we still have our 2 Fuwalos, of course, so we can definitely trade into 1. It's just whether we're going to be able to trade into 2 or 3, which would be, you know, ideal. Worst case scenario, we play with 1, we can still combo with a barrel and, you know, fill in the gaps with some more non-engine. But again, it all comes down to the final opening. Hopefully we pull some good stuff. And with that, it was time to get ready for Nationals and the final opening. Alright, boys, it is Nationals season, or day, or week, or weekend, I guess. QCR, big welcome Labyrinth. This isn't worth a whole lot, or at least last time I checked, but it should be, dude. We have Sinister Shadow Games. It is Utopic Onomatopoeia. Another QCR. We're getting so many QCRs. Okay, big shiny opening. I told you. Another effect monster. We have, oh, baby, Dark Magician Girl herself has made an appearance. We have Draco Face-Off QCR. Hita, the Fire Charmer Ablaze, into Aluber, the Jester of Despia. Let's go, dude! We got an altar, finally! All of a sudden, we were rich in cardboard. Not enough to get like Perulias and Meows, but just enough to potentially even overtrade into the Lordly Loads and make sure that we get them, baby. Alright, boys, and with that, we are finally packed for Nationals. Let's go, dude. We still just need to pick up the Primite Lordly Loads. I do have that organized, so I think we are going to have the full Primite build ready. Let's get it, dude. I'm so excited. All I got was your fucking bald spot. So after all this prep and build up, we were finally in Liverpool. Was it time to play some Yu-Gi-Oh? Absolutely not. These big events are basically just group holidays, and you gotta have some fun, man. So that's what we did. Who's the father? Of course, the Yu-Gi-Oh had to come eventually, so we traded our life savings to Ethan for a coveted playset of Lordly Load and a Druis Worm before getting to work. Testing was going well for most of us.
Friends agreed to this. If I go positive, they have to call me Shogun David.
And we were clapping everyone's cheeks, man, until we finally landed on the final list that we would register for the main event. Alright boys, here we go. This is what the last month and a half of work has been put towards. This is our final list that we are going to be taking into the National Championship. Let's just dive right in. Of course, we have that YCS super rare token. You gotta love it. But getting into our deck here, the main deck, 42 card count. We'll start with the Blue Eyes engine. Of course, we are playing the 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon. We got our new shiny Platinum Secret Rare copy there as well. We have, of course, our Triple Sage, Triple Maiden, Triple Wishes, and our Kaiser Seahorse for 10 of our starters in the Blue Eyes engine. This is to bridge both of the engines together with something like Spheres or Magnamut. We, of course, have Roar, Mausoleum of White, Majesty, and True Light to round out the Blue Eyes package. Literally all of this is standard except for the Neo Kaiser Seahorse. Some people choose to play 2 Spheres and not play the Neo Kaiser Seahorse because it's like the worst starter, but I prefer playing the Kaiser Seahorse because it bridges both engines together and it opens up that second Spheres extra deck slot. So yeah, Kaiser Seahorse, he's a good boy. Getting into our Primite engine, we have 3 lovely copies of Primite Lordly Load here, 3 copies of Primite Dragon Aether Barrel, and just the 1 Primite Drill Beam. I am a huge fan of 2 Drill Beam because you can kind of loop them one turn after another, but just the 1 for this format because we want to maximize the non-engine we see in our hands and not open ourselves up to potential brick cards in the hand. Drill Beam isn't a brick most of the time, but there are weird situations where it can unfortunately brick you. So yeah, 1 Drill Beam, and that's our engine. Now we get into the non-engine. Of course, 3 Fuwalos, pretty standard. 3 Droll and Lockbird, also pretty standard. Kind of mandatory for the Mitsu Raziel matchup. It's not great against Mitsu, honestly, depending on their hand. Like, they're always just going to go Draw Phase Prayers, Tribute a Ritual Monster. That's just how it is, man. So Droll feels really bad when that happens. But yeah, it's mainly for specifically Mitsu Raziel, or just any Raziel build, I guess. We also have Triple Ash. We have 3 Nibiru. 2 Imperm and the searchable effect veiler. Of course, this is like a 3rd Imperm here. I tried playing without Imperm because Imperm just feels so bad in this format. If you like Imperm Dormouse and then they have the extender, your Imperm did nothing, you're a card down, and you probably lose because they just go full combo. If you're able to pair it with something else, it's usually fine. And also, like, if you're playing against some kind of Fiendsmith build, you can just like Imperm the Caesar and then, you know, like, what do? The underdog of the list, 3 Super Poly. I know things like Memento and that are playing Super Poly, but it's not really considered a like mandatory staple in the top tier decks. We had the space, we needed a kind of low budget, super high power card, and Super Poly has been really, really nice for me. It's also really good into like generic matchups, like Memento, you can just Super Poly their big guy off, make Mud Dragon, things like that. This is definitely going to be like a hit or a miss. But in testing, it has been really, really good every single time. So hoping the Super Poly kind of carries us a little bit. And then finally, for our 42nd card, we have the Triple Tactics Talent in the main deck here. I mean, look at that, dude. Look how sick that deck looks. So clean, so consistent. Yeah, really, really good deck, man. 42 cards. I don't think I can cut it down any lower, unfortunately. I mean, you want to drown out the bricks a little bit. So yeah, 42 is fine. Extra deck, I think we all kind of know what the extra deck is at this point. It's kind of standard. We got Double Spirit, we got the 1 Spheres, the Double Spirit Synchro, then the targets, we got the Lightstorm Dragon, the Moonlight, Ancient Fairy Life, and the big Ultimate Spirit Dragon. We of course have our Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon. This is good if we get Nibiru or if we use our own Nibiru. we can synchro a level 1 tuner with our Nibiru, or, you know, the token to make this, and then this outs the Nibiru token that we give our opponent, or, you know, it's just a good interruption in general. Also, things like Blue Eyes plus Neo Kaiser Seahorse can just go into that straight away. So, yeah, really, really nice card. We have the Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and Tyrant, of course, and our Super Poly targets. We've got the Garura, the Mud Dragon, and, of course, the Starving Venom Platinum Secret Rare that we picked up. This is specifically for Malice, because I think I mentioned in the last episode, like sometimes you'll resolve Roar, or you'll have to link 1 on field, and then you'll want to use Super Poly because your opponent like interacts with you at that point. And also you can just convert this into a Spheres if you don't get the kill. So yeah, it's really, really nice. Definitely worth the slot in my opinion. And for the side deck, the non-engine we have decided on. We of course have going first cards, Solemn Judgment. We want this to stop things like Feather Duster or Lightning Storm, because we do have a lot of back row, things like Drill Beam, the Majesty Trap, Primite Lordly Load, True Light, etc, etc. Judgment being not only a good card in general, but another vehicle of stopping those kind of counter cards is very, very nice. Of course, we got the 3 Lancia. For our other Malice card, I was playing Phantasme, because usually you'll have Lancia plus Meows, and obviously we can't get Meows. I was playing Phantasme in its place, but I decided this Super Poly kind of does more against Malice than the Phantasme will. Phantasme can just do essentially nothing. So yeah, we just don't have another Malice specific card in the side deck here, which opened up some space, which was really, really nice. Triple Xyz Encore. This isn't the best out to Detonator, like Ultimate Slayer does that best, but Xyz Encore is specifically for Harpy's Featherstorm. Why is Harpy's Featherstorm still legal, man? It's so stupid. Say you hand trap them, they'll go Thrust, set Featherstorm, and then make the Castell pass turn. In your draw phase with player priority, you can go Xyz Encore to remove the Castell from the board, and then your opponent can't respond to that, and that turns off the Featherstorm, and you're able to pretty much just kill them then and there. So yeah, very, very specific, but at the same time, worst case scenario, this can just like hit a Detonator, or in weird situations, if you get the side patterns down, you can hit like a Caesar with this. So it's not bad. I just didn't want to lose to Featherstorm. So yeah, I wanted to at least have a card to deal with that. We also have double Ghost Bell. I tried it in the main. It didn't feel super good. Like, a lot of people were hyping this up against Mitsu, but like they'll just chain block half the things that you want to bell. So it was kind of awkward, but it's also very good, especially in our deck at stopping Bestials and things like that. Or if you like draw your opponent and they called by, you chain bell, it feels so good, dude. It feels so good. So yeah, double Ghost Spell, and then we have the Magna, which is like another starter, but going first, it doesn't really do anything, so it's kind of more for going second as a starter, and also for things like Fiendsmith, and then the Druid Worm as well, because these cards are just good against like rogue decks and things like that, and Fiendsmith and whatnot. Finally, we have the Feather Duster and Called by the Grave, specifically for going first. Like, I would main this if it had a application going second against Malice. It did pre-Alliance Insight, but post-Alliance Insight, Called by just isn't great against Malice going second, unfortunately. But yeah, that is the list. Pretty confident, honestly. We got most of our side patterns down. We know all of the matchups. We're confident going into pretty much every matchup, except Odeon. Dude, I'm scared of the Odeon deck. Like, I don't know what we do against that. They just negate everything, and, you know, like, you can't really super poly it either. It's a weird one. It's a weird one, but hopefully we don't get put against it. But that's it, man. The National Championship. Let's see how we get on with Primite, baby. Oh, I'm excited.
Thank you for joining us at this year's WCQ UK Nationals 2025.
Tournament report. As always, you can't film at the venue or like record your matches, so we gotta do it this way, which, you know, is kind of crappy for content, but it is what it is. So, Liverpool Nationals. This has been one of my favorite events, honestly, so far. Our accommodation was not a crack den, which is good. Location was great. I loved Liverpool, probably my favorite English city I've ever been to so far. Venue was decent. Honestly, EU events in general have just been really, really good recently. It's always a good time, you know, just seeing friends and meeting a bunch of you guys as well. We took a bunch of pictures. But yeah, let's run through the events. Starting on day one. So the deck list I registered on Neuron somehow got accepted with 2 Called by the Grave in the list, which is limited, you know, so right off the bat, my deck list is illegal, meaning we have to head to the venue super early in the morning to try and make sure it gets fixed. Nobody knows how it happened or why it actually got accepted by the system, but we were able to write out a paper deck list, which took a solid like 10 minutes and get it sorted at least. So yeah, getting into the gameplay, I'll just be straight up. It was a bit of a disaster. Round 1, we lose a dice roll to a die-hard Blue Eyes fan. You know, they had the accessories and everything, really sick deck box, it was really cool, but yeah, they were playing Primite, but focusing more on ending on things like Jet Dragon, and they were playing multiple copies of the trap card, Legendary Creature of Destruction, that kind of makes your Blue Eyes immune. Multiple copies of that. So it was not your typical Blue Eyes Primite list. They weren't even playing Spheres, bro. It was a really fun back and forth, of course, but we did get to game 3. Our opponent passes to our turn with 2 minutes left on the clock. And if we were against literally your standard optimal Primite Blue Eyes list, we win here, because we just go battle phase, we super poly the board, and attack for game. That didn't quite work in this situation, because they ended on Jet Dragon plus double Blue Eyes White Dragon, Drill Beam, and something else. So we couldn't just super poly for game. And yeah, so we ended up as a draw against Blue Eyes in round 1. Round 2 was a very quick 2-0 against White Forest, even though we lost the dice roll again. So, you know, we're bringing it back. A loss and a win by round 2, that's not bad. Round 3, we lose another dice roll to Fiendsmith Mitsurugi Raziel. This kind of version of the deck has been popping up a lot, especially after Triff uploaded a video where he's playing all 3 engines. We lost the dice roll, of course, and we opened the 0 non-engine in game 1. So our opponent just makes the full board. We scoop. Game 2, it was a bit of a grind, not gonna lie, but I'm so used to just saying standby main. You know, when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, you just go draw, yep, standby main, okay. Barrel has a trigger in the standby phase, so we haven't quite adapted to that mindset where we have to stop and standby. So I missed, you know, the barrel trigger in standby phase. That allowed our opponent to use Bell on something else and would have been the end of the game until our opponent played into the Graveyard Negate effect on Neo Ultimate Blue Eyes with their Fiendsmith Engraver. So the Negate and Destroy effect came in clutch and allowed us to take it back. Game 3, our opponent's going first. We open Xyz Encore and Ghost Bell as our non-engine, which isn't great, not gonna lie. They are able to set up the full board. Xyz Encore trades with the Detonator, cool. We bait out the Mitsurugi trap card with a Wishes, and then Bell the Murakumo summon back. We just have nothing to push through the Caesar, unfortunately. So if we just had like one more push, we potentially could have won. But yeah, so our record at the end of round 3 is 1-1-1. We got a win, a loss, and a draw. Going into round 4, we lose the 4th dice roll in a row. This always happens, dude. Every single event, my dice rolls are fucking ass. But yeah, we lose the dice roll to White Forest, have a really, really nice match. It goes to game 3, time gets called, opponent's battle phase, okay? I'm up by like 7,000 life points. I've taken no damage. Our opponent has like 600 life points left. I have a Drill Beam and, you know, like half a board. They have the Diabell Synchro and the Silvera Synchro with a double piercing. They activate the effect of Diabell to summon, and for some reason I chain Drill Beam targeting the Silvera, not realizing that the Diabell can summon back from the banish pile. So our opponent just summons back the Silvera and attacks for game with double piercing on both the synchros. Throw away the tournament. I literally, like, through the entire tournament right there. I'm stupid, okay? What can I say? That takes us to round 5. We do win a dice roll, thankfully, and get a clean win against Snake Eyes Fiendsmith. And then round 6, we get paired against Fire Kings. We don't see any Primite cards. We don't see Super Poly or anything like that. And we lose to Fire Kings. So that was essentially the end of the tournament. To be fair, I have had no sleep pretty much the entire time we were there, so I was exhausted and ready to go home. I'm not playing any more side events or anything. I'm going home, dude. I'm going for a snooze. I told a bunch of people to like look out for me for trades and like QCRs and stuff, but I was out of there, dude. So the main event was rough, but I refused to go home a loser. That night I made sure to get a good sleep and we would come back swinging on the next day at one of the big side events. I woke up at like 10 a.m. or something, you know, quite late. Everyone has already left, so I'm there by myself, waddling down to the venue, and the last event I can join is the Giant Card event, which is kind of like a regional, kind of a small regional, but it's single elimination. I'd had a good sleep, I'd had some breakfast, and I was ready to actually kick some ass this time. I mean, I'm gonna play some Yu-Gi-Oh, you know? So, round 1 of the event that actually matters. We lose a dice roll to White Forest. We win game 1, but then lose game 2 to time. So for the first time in my life, because it's a single elimination tournament, we're made to play a sudden death, which is really, really weird. I've never done this before. So we take our decks from game 2, neither player is allowed to side, and then we roll the dice to see who starts for game 3. We lose the dice roll again, of course, and whoever takes damage first in, I believe, 5 turns, gets the win. So our opponent goes first and makes a, pretty solid White Forest board, but we're able to break it apart and set up multiple of our own interruptions, meaning we won that one. They weren't able to play through our interruptions. Round 2, we lose another dice roll to Tenpai this time, but they go first. They're playing a lot of traps in the main deck. So game 1, we just imperm spheres and OTK. Simple. They didn't open many traps in their hand. Game 2, they try to set up going first again, but we're just able to counter everything that they're trying to do and make it a swift 2-0. So we win round 2, 2-0, and our record is now 2-0. Round 3, we lose the dice roll again, of course, against pure Mitsurugi, but this build is playing Nadir Servant and a Shadal package as well that tries to set up El Shadal Winda. It's all pretty standard until we get to game 3. They go first and they set up their Winda lock, but there's no Mitsurugi back row to worry about. So Super Poly pretty much just destroys the board and we get the win. Super Poly, baby, coming in clutch. Round 4, we have now lost 4 dice rolls in a row again. This time we're up against a very confident Malice player. He was like 6-0 in the main event, asking the judge how many more rounds until he gets his giant card, because he was confident he was going to win, etc, etc. Well, game 1, he has Ash for my Fuwalos, and then makes his full board, so we simply just scoop. Game 2, our hand is ass. We open no starters. It's all non-engine and like a Blue Eyes White Dragon, but somehow we're able to continually stop him from comboing off until we draw a starter, and then we win the grand game. That takes us to game 3, and while we're siding for game 3, he says, if you don't draw Lancia, you lose. I draw my 5 opening cards. I don't draw Lancia, so we'll see what happens. Our opponent normal summons backup Ignister. That's a really rough start for Malice. We're gonna stop that with Ash. So he sets 2 and passes turn. Drill Beam was live in hand to stop his mistaken arrest. We had a Bell to stop his Bestial, and it was game over. We knocked him out. No Lancia needed, baby. That was karma, bitch. Round 5, I think we finally won a dice roll against Malice. Again, we're playing against a guy called Owen. Really nice guy. Shout out to Alex from Team Shift, by the way. We essentially seen Lancia when it mattered the most and managed to take this match 2-1. So we are now 5-0. And there is just one opponent remaining. Worlds 2023 competitor Oliver Newton on Pure Raziel. This match did go to a game 3, but it was some very good and intense competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, neither of us had bricked any of the games, and you could feel the pressure. You could feel this was a good competitive match. We go to the final game, and our hand was cracked, baby. We had Ash to stop his Fuwalos. He wasn't too happy about that. Both of our engines to set up a very strong board and essentially just see if he could break it. He ended up having like 4 or 5 Raziel names in hand, which, is a lot of extension, but nothing too incredibly powerful. So we're able just to stop every single push he has and get the win. So we're 6-0. There's no one left. We win the entire tournament, baby. We won the giant card, or the oversized card.
Let's go!
Which one is it? The big reveal?
It's the Beck Monster.
Oh, Dark Magician Girl, baby! Look at that. That's right, man. We won the tournament and won ourselves the big Dark Magician Girl as well. And we went on to sell this for £840. So we actually profited from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! From winning at Yu-Gi-Oh! Our dueling skills made us money for the first time, I think, ever. So yeah, really, really cool feeling. It was funny because leaving the event, it felt like really cool just walking about like this. But then as soon as we got outside the venue and walked around Liverpool, yeah, it was a swift turnaround of the card. Yeah, we still have our prize packs to open. Unfortunately, there was no like gameplay of the new Prima engine that we picked up in this episode, so we'll probably take it to locals and try and get a locals win as well, just so we can actually show off how good the Primite stuff is. But yeah, we'll get into the prize packs and then that's going to be it for the video. All right, let's see if we can end this episode on an even bigger bang. So we got all of our entry packs from not only the main event at Nationals, but also the giant card that we won, baby. Every person that entered the main event at Nationals got this, I think it's Regenesis Lord, right? This Field Center. It looks really sick, but probably just gonna add it to the pile of Field Centers that don't get used. You gonna help? My brother in Christ. Never mind then. But yeah, 10 packs of Alliance Insight. Let's see what we get, and then, you know, hopefully we can trade towards a Magia, because now we have no stress, no pressure, or anything. We have done what we set out to do. Actually won a 6-round event, which is great. Okay, so, Heraldic Beast, Stat Whale, we got Brain Controller, Wicked Serpent, Night Dragon, we got Kurikurinku at Ignister, Flash of Heraldry in pack number 1 here. Kinda garbage, not gonna lie. We should be due like 1 ultra rare by standard rates in these packs, but if we pull 1 ultra rare, I won't be super happy, unless it's like backup Ignister, I guess. That's the only good one. Bomber Place. I don't remember this card, what the hell? We got Kizan, Code Igniter at... hello? Double Flash of Heraldry. Okay, dude, what? And this is the same 4 cards at the back of the pack, what the fuck? Yo, Clumping! Is this gonna be like Groundhog Day, where we just open the same pack over and over? Crimson Firewing Pegasus, we have Regenesis Dragon, Dogurad, we got Here There Be Dragons, and a Firewall Saber Dragon. Okay, 3 for 3 on super rares. Pretty terrible start, not gonna lie. Pretty terrible start. It would have been nice if there was an OTS pack alongside this, but obviously that's more just prize wall side events kind of thing, which we didn't get any because we won the event, so we didn't get any prize tickets, which is unfortunate. Sirius, we have World of Spirits. Okay, final pack of the first event here, Steamed Sabersaurus. Sirius, we got Tensei, Ryuji Anva, Code Igniter, and Argostar's Fierce Parth. Okay, so this was definitely the main event, because our main event performance was so ass, the prize packs can be ass as well. This is going to be where the real goo is. Yo, we're going to get QC March Hare, Secret March Hare, Backup, everything we could ask for. Vicious Claws, Code Igniter, Crimson Fire and Pegasus, Wicked Serpent, Night Dragon, we got Mitsurugi, Magatama, which isn't a bad card, so, you know, it's a better start. Yo, ass piss, cool. Come on, please, man. Please give us something good. Regenesis Dragon. Got number 69. Haha, Kazan, Evil Hero, Vicious Claws. How the fuck have we opened a playset of Flash of Heraldry, bro? What is going on? At number 69, haha, Cyber Jormungandr, we got Kuribon the Fairy Spirit, Regulus the Fairy Beast, we have Diabells, the White Witch. So like better. Ooh, Dragon's Mind, let's go. We pulled that, hell yeah. I don't think we've pulled it before, so yeah, we can just literally just play it. 2 Judgment, 1 Dragon's Mind, let's go. Code Igniter, we have Prima Materia Reactor, Heraldic Beast Stat Whale, we got Philia Diabell, Dragolithia, Kunzite. Some people are playing this in Blue Eyes. It's not good, but it's a card we can play. We can start doing some like weird Xyz build, I guess. Ooh, yo, another Dragon's Mind, let's go. Are we really gonna go 10 for 10 on supers? Come on, man. I know we got the giant card, but still, man, like, give me a good trade bait, you know? Regulus the Fairy Beast, we got Materia Reactor, Melt Through, Evil Hero, Vicious Claws. Ah, bro, Toxic Fogfish. Oh my god, what? We got a playset of Dragon's Mind. That's funny. 10 super rares, that's so garbage, man. Well, it's fine. It's fine. We're in no rush. Nationals is come and gone. Probably not gonna go to Euros, so yeah. No big deal. No big deal.